trigger his hero instinct and devotion to you with these 9 questions. So I'm excited to dive into this training with you today about how to actually activate a man's love, attraction, desire, and devotion for you with some powerful questions that can shift everything potentially in your relationship with him. It's going to change how he reacts to you. It's going to change how he sees you. It's going to change how he feels about you. And these are all easy shifts that you can make inside of yourself to get what you desire with him and in your relationship with him. So we're going to start it off by going through each of the questions and helping you to actually use them with your relationship. I'm Brody Boyd. If you don't know me already, for over 20 years combined with my wife, Antia, we've been helping thousands of successful women all over the world to get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man they desire fast and create the life that they want as well fast. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So now the first question that you want to ask, it's very powerful, is how comfortable do you feel with having men do things for you and give to you? Is it easy and natural or difficult and awkward? This question is going to reveal a lot because it's going to reveal your level of feminine receptivity. How comfortable do you actually feel with having a man be your protector, provider, and hero? Are you comfortable with him actually giving to you, or with men in general giving to you, even small ways like opening up a door for you, pulling out a chair, or in bigger ways like helping you with a family crisis or helping protect you from somebody who's trying to stalk you or hurt you, or some other big challenge you're having in your life financially, emotionally, health-wise. So how comfortable do you actually feel with receiving, vulnerably receiving from a man? This is the essence of feminine polarity, is receptivity and allowing and inspiring a man to actually give to you and serve you. It's very important. The next question number 2 is, do you see yourself as an independent woman, a dependent woman, or as an interdependent woman? This question can make all the difference between you having a healthy, polarized relationship or you having a relationship where you're not treated well, you're not respected, or not having any relationship at all, which is the likely case of being an independent woman. So if you're an independent woman, you're more likely to have a man feel feelings like that you don't need him, you don't even want him really in your life, you don't appreciate him, and there's nothing he can really add to you to make you happy because you're independent. You got it all going for yourself. You don't really need him. You're good. A masculine man wants to make you happy. And if he feels that you're happier by yourself, then he's going to do that for you. He's going to allow you to have that. And he's going to choose a woman who he feels he can be of service to, who he can be the hero, protector, provider that he can give to her. And he is valued and he is even needed for his service. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you would have a dependent woman, a woman who needs a man for everything in her life. She needs emotional connection. She can't handle anything on her own. And it's very scary for her to be operating in her own sovereignty as far as self-responsibility, responsibility for your own emotions, responsibility for your own thoughts, responsibility for your own actions in a relationship. And if you're craving a man to provide you with everything that you think will make you happy, that ultimately is going to be a losing game as well, because ultimately a man can't fill up all the voids that you may have inside of yourself as far as loneliness, damage from childhood. However, he can help a lot with that. And so you need to meet him halfway in a sense, where you are now moving into the middle ground between the independence and the dependence, where you are now interdependent, where you are able to be the queen in a relationship, where you can receive from a man. You can also share your feelings, your emotions, your desires in a respectful way. And he is actively wanting to help you. And you're able to also have space by yourself where you're with girlfriends, me time, filling yourself up, doing things that you enjoy, and allowing him also the guy time to do his things, to go into his bear cave or to hang out with his guy friends or to do activities and adventures that he wants to go on. And then coming back together and enjoying this beautiful coupleship as well together. That's healthy interdependence, which is a very important thing to look at for yourself, and as well where you might be wired and where we can help get you more into a healthy interdependence of being the queen. Question number 3 is, do you admire men and their accomplishments, past and present, or do you secretly envy, distrust, or resent them? This can help you to become aware of where you may be holding secret male resentments that a man will feel when he's in relationship with you, or especially, or even just in the beginning stages when you're dating a man. Men have a sixth sense for this. They can pick up when you're actually not valuing, again, what he has to offer, or you're not trusting him. The masculine desires to be respected and trusted. The feminine desires to be adored and cherished. So by you showing him that you respect him, you trust him, and you admire him, that's going to help him to feel more feelings of trust and respect. And he's going to feel great in the relationship with you because now his masculine is being activated. He feels like he has a purpose and a meaning in the relationship, and he wants to do more for you. He wants to give more, and you have a healthy, polarized relationship. However, if you're holding secret resentments, even to just men in general, he's going to feel that, and he's not going to feel wanted or needed in the relationship. And he's probably going to, again, if he wants to make you happy, let you go, let you be by yourself, because obviously you don't value what he has to bring to the table, and wanting a protector, provider, hero. So, and that would be a healthy man, of course. Of course, there are bad men out there that you want to watch out for and you want to avoid. And there are bad men that have done damage to you probably in your past. You just want to watch out for ascribing that to all men, that all men are bad. All men may hurt you in the same way this one man hurt you. And be willing to open up and trust and give a man a chance that is showing that he is capable of having care for your heart and being trustworthy. Because otherwise the option is just keeping your heart closed forever and never having a healthy, happy, polarized relationship. So it's going to take some courage. And with the tools we teach you, you're going to be able to do it much more safely, much more reliably, that you will use magnetic feminine polarity, magnetic feminine communication to attract a king, a healthy king into your life, a man who wants to take care of you and be that for you, be that hero role for you. That's going to happen when you make those shifts and start to trust again, start to open up your heart again, even when it may be scary and may be uncomfortable in some ways. And of course, to trust your intuition and watch his behavior. But that's the process you can engage in to start to bring him closer to you rather than pushing a man away from you. Question number 4 is, how do you react when a man gives you a compliment? Do you receive it graciously, or do you brush it off or compliment him instead? Again, this goes back to the all-powerful feminine trait of receptivity. Just like in sex, just like in a dance, you're receiving his gifts for his pleasure, for your pleasure. And he's going to be happy if you're happy, if he's a masculine, healthy masculine man. So when he gives you a compliment, if you receive it graciously by just saying something like thank you, appreciation, or even sharing how it makes you feel. I feel so cared for when you compliment me like this. Thank you. I feel so seen by you. Thank you. Or do you brush it off and say, no, this is an old dress. It's not really that great. Or my hair is looking so frizzy today. If he said he thinks you're beautiful or something like that, and you start commenting on the things that are wrong, that you think are wrong, like, I didn't get a chance to do all my makeup today, or, I didn't sleep well last night, like whatever you might say to brush it off, right? That would be you avoiding receiving from him, which blocks the polarity. It blocks the attraction, because now he's not able to give to you fully. You're not able to, and it's a sign, even in a small way, that you're not actually receptive to the masculine gifts, and that you have some internal blocks in some way, whether that's self-esteem, self-worth, fear, trust issues. Something is blocking that receptivity, which is fine if that's where you're at. You can heal it, and we'll help you heal it with feminine communication. But it's a good sign to know where you're at if you're actually able to accept a compliment graciously. And also avoid complimenting him instead, which would actually be you shifting into your masculine and now giving to him and wanting to provide for him. Here's a compliment, or it's even a judgment of some kind. Men don't really care about compliments. They care about appreciation. They care about how knowing that their actions are having a positive impact on you and that you feel good from what he did. But he doesn't really need to hear that you think he's that you like, his outfit, or you like this. Like, he just wants to know that he's making you feel good. Actually, he's making you happy. So it's more important to share your feelings rather than a compliment to a man, because that would be more like you trying to give him something in order for him to like you, probably, or that you feel guilty receiving, so that you want to give it back right away, so that you don't have to feel like you actually received it. It's a subtle block to look out for. So that's an important question as well. Question number 5 is, how do you respond when a man opens a door for you, pulls out your chair or grabs your coat, etc. Again, giving. These are other examples. I want to give you some specifics so you can know, oh, actually, I sometimes do block men when they're trying to open the door for me, or I try to open it myself. So that's one of the worst things you can do in terms of masculine, feminine polarity is when a man wants to give to you, when he wants to help you, he wants to feel needed by you. And then you say, oh, no, it's okay. I can do it myself. I got it. No, I got it. It's fine. That's one of the fastest ways to destroy the polarity in a relationship, where now you're not being received, but you're not receiving his gifts. So he feels like not needed. He feels like we're friends now. There's no polarity. We're buddies. We're equals. And there's no juice. There's no chemistry. There's no passion because the polarity is gone. You're the same now. Or even worse, you're doing things for him. You start opening doors for him. You start pulling out chairs for him. You start taking off his coat and helping him walk across the street or whatever. Now the polarity is completely reversed. So you want to just look for these small ways. Are you comfortable receiving? Do you allow men to give to you? And it doesn't mean you have to accept it from all men. If it's a creepy guy who's obviously trying to get into your pants or trying to do something, then of course you can say, no, thanks. Like, I'm good. No, thanks. But if it's a man you're interested in, especially, or it's a good practice for men in general, if they're just normal guys that you run into on your daily life, practicing receptivity. Thank you. Thank you so much. And smiling, showing you appreciate him. He'll feel great and he'll want to continue giving to you. That's a small way, but he'll want to continue giving to you in bigger ways, such as in a relationship, wanting to commit to you, wanting to give you his love, wanting to give you his other ways, acts of service and help, being your hero, protector, provider again. So they can start to expand into bigger ways when you're able to receive in these small ways and show him that he can win in the relationship with you. Question number 6. How do you respond when a man buys you dinner? So this would be another example of that. Do you offer to pay yourself, offer to split the check, or receive it warmly with appreciation? It's a great test, again, of your level of receptivity. Do you feel very uncomfortable when a man buys you dinner or buys you anything, really? Do you feel like, oh, I don't want to owe him, or I don't want to feel like he has to pay for me, or I don't want to feel like now that he thinks I'm a gold digger, or he thinks that I just want to, take his money. So all these stories that might come up where you're blocking yourself from receiving from him by not allowing him to give his gifts in that way. Again, of course, if it's a man you're not interested in, maybe you just say, let's just split the check. I still wouldn't recommend paying for the whole meal yourself, because that's a complete reverse of polarity. Now you're treating him, you're fully the masculine role yourself. However, if it's a man you're really not interested in, and it's let's say a first date, yes, you can maybe split then, but it's also, you got to be careful because you can start to get in the habit of not receiving. Now, if you're kind of neutral about a man, you could still just let him pay for the meal. He'll feel good about it. He gets to feel like he got to help give a lady a good experience. He feels more like a man that's going to help him on his future dates. He's going to feel more masculine. He's going to feel more strong and empowered in his sense of being a hero. Now, yeah, so again, of course, if you're not interested, you can go ahead and split. So, but in general, are you able to receive, especially from a man you're interested in? Are you able to just receive that gift and say, thank you, I appreciate it. I feel so happy having this experience with you. This was an amazing date. Thank you. So you can share your emotions. You can share gratitude. I feel so much gratitude. Thank you. This was an amazing meal. I had such a good time. You made me laugh so much more than I have in the last couple of days. Like it's been really great. He'll feel received. He feels like you really appreciate it. You got it. He gets to feel your heart because it's authentic. Don't share these appreciations just to share them, but tap into your true heart, your true feminine core and vulnerability. How did you actually feel in that moment when you're fully receiving it, and express that? That's you practicing being in your full feminine receptivity, which is magnetic to a man. It's fascinating to a man, and it makes him inspired to want to do more for you and really be your hero. So the next question is number 7. How comfortable do you feel with asking for help or advice from a man? Is it easy or is it hard? Share in the comments below if you've experienced any of these things. If you have found it hard or easy to pay for a date, to receive a man paying for your date, to receive a compliment from a man, I would say, or to ask for help and advice from a man. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've had any struggles with any of these, or if some of them have been easier for you, if they've been coming naturally for you, or if you've had to kind of overcome some things. So, is it easy or hard for you to ask for help or advice from a man with anything? Say you're struggling with your computer. Do you have a hard time asking your close guy friends, even, or a family member, um, may I have some help? I'm struggling with I can't get my computer to do XYZ. May I ask if you can have any tips or have any help that you can give me with that? And see what he says. And this is especially powerful, of course, with a man that you're interested in, telling him you're having these issues and just saying, may I ask for your help? May I ask if you have any advice? And let him respond and see if he has any advice, if he has any help. Because if he does, and he's able to solve that problem for you, he's going to feel great. He's going to feel in his masculine. Remember, the masculine gives, the feminine receives. He's going to feel in his masculine. He's going to feel the polarity expand. He's going to feel more attracted to you, more passion towards you, more devotion towards you, and start to see himself as your man, because he's now proving it to himself with his actions. He's like, oh, I helped her with her computer. That must mean I like her. That must mean I'm committed to her in some way, because why am I doing all these things for her? I must really like this woman. So you trigger a lot of mental and emotional processes for a man when you ask for advice, when you ask for help, and you let him provision that advice and that help, whatever it is, whether it's your computer, your car, health issue, family issue, career issue, financial issue, something just with your house, your living situation. You can ask for help, ask for advice. Practice this with all the men in your life, but especially practice this when you're at the grocery store. May I ask if you can help me take the groceries to my car? I had a client that said this the other day on one of our coaching calls in our magnetic feminine polarity program. And she said she was practicing this even at the grocery store, asking a man if he could help her put the groceries in her trunk because they were pretty heavy. And he said, sure. And he helped her. And she could tell he felt great about it. He felt like really like empowered as a man, received as a man. Like, even though it's his job, it feels good to a man to know that he's valuable in some way, that he's helped somebody's life to be easier. Through this process of you being in your feminine, magnetic feminine polarity that we teach you here and teach in our coaching programs, you're going to learn how to make men feel a sense of purpose being with you. They feel like, wow, my life had no meaning before, but all of a sudden I have a meaning. I have a purpose. I mean, it may not be that extreme, but he's going to feel like, now I have someone in my life who's counting on me. I have someone in my life who's feeling great when I do things for them. This feels awesome. I want to do more of that. I feel less depressed. I feel less lonely. I feel less unwanted and unneeded than I do when I'm with her. When I'm with her, I feel wanted. I feel desired. I feel important. And I feel like I'm making somebody's life better. That feels good to me. That can only happen if you're presenting your problems to him and letting him solve them. Some women who come to us when they first start coaching, they are what I call Miss Too Cool for School. I'm cool. Everything's good. We're just having fun here. Life is good. I've got all my stuff handled. We're just having fun. It's a good time. We can have sex if you want, whatever. And the guy doesn't really feel needed by her. He doesn't feel like he has anything to really offer her because everything's good. Her life is great. She's just fun. She's fun girl, which he may still have sex with her. Usually he will, of course, most men will. That doesn't mean he's feeling any care or devotion towards her, because a man needs to feel wanted and needed. And she's not vulnerable enough to share her challenges, her problems. There's no challenge or problem he can solve for her. He's just there. We're just buddies. We're just buddies who have sex sometimes. Friends with benefits. That's one of the definitions of friends with benefits, is there's just friends. There's no other real purpose beyond that. He's not able to provide and be received to her other than maybe through physical sex. So you want to look for that in your relationship, because that's a good warning sign that a man is likely not going to commit to you because he doesn't feel needed. The next, I was going to call it the next sexy question, which it is sexy because it creates a chemistry and a passion in the relationship, is how comfortable do you feel with appreciating a man or men in general for what you most admire, love, or respect about them? We kind of talked about this earlier, but do you feel comfortable actually appreciating men in general? Even just within yourself, of like looking outside your window and seeing all the buildings that have been built, the countries that have been created, the inventions that have been made, the progress, the insights, the philosophies, the books, all of these things that have been created through by men, past, present, and likely in the future, as the world continues, is that you can feel appreciation for that. Can you feel appreciation for that and just say, like, I appreciate, I may never know the men who built this house that I'm living in right now, or this skyscraper that I'm in right now, but I appreciate them for their efforts. I appreciate them for the work that they put in, the craftsmanship, the care, because they wanted to make somebody happy. And they made me happy. They're making me happy just being here, but they were probably doing it because they wanted to make their woman happy. They wanted to earn a living. They wanted to provide. They wanted to build. They wanted to make the world a better place in some way, even if it was their small little bubble of their family. So can you appreciate that in a man? Can you appreciate his drive to want to make himself, his life, his family, his community better in some way? To look for that and to actually appreciate that and to feel that in your heart, because what will happen is when you meet a man or when you're with a man that you're interested in, that you love or attracted to, he's going to feel this kind of base level that you have of appreciation for men in general, for what they do, what they can give, what they can provide. Of course, there's been probably men that have hurt you at some point. There's been bad men in history. Bad things have happened. But if you can focus on the good things that you do appreciate, what happens is you will call that out within a man. You call out the good man inside of him. You call out the good in men around you that makes them want to be your hero, protector, provider, because they feel that. They feel that this appreciation. They feel this desire from you. They feel this honor from you. Remember, the masculine desires trust and respect. The feminine desires to be cherished and adored. So they're going to start feeling this sense of honor and respect from you and admiration. And he may not even know why, but he's like, I don't know what it is with this woman, but I just feel so great when I'm with her. I just feel like I have purpose. I feel needed. I feel happy. I feel calm. I feel my life is just in a flow. It's in the right place. He might not have words for that, but that's kind of the feeling he'll get when he's with you, because he feels like this is a woman who actually appreciates men, who actually appreciates me and what I can give to her. And I want to do more of that. You call out the good in those men by focusing on the good in those men and appreciating the good in those men. So it's a practice you can get into that draws them to you, because all the things we're teaching you is how do you draw a man to you rather than pushing a man away and causing him to lose interest or drift away, which we don't want unless he's a man you're not interested in. The next question is, how comfortable do you feel with being vulnerable and sharing your feelings with a man? Do you find it is terrifying or fun and easy? So opening your heart, being vulnerable. How hard is this for you? Answer in the comments. Do you have any struggles with vulnerability? Are you afraid of vulnerability? Do you enjoy vulnerability? And when I say vulnerability, I'm really talking about sharing your heart, your feelings with a man, and your stories that you're telling yourself. Are you comfortable with telling a man, I feel sad? Are you comfortable with telling a man, I feel happy? Are you comfortable with telling a man, I feel shame? Are you comfortable with telling a man, I feel desire? These kind of feelings that are authentic for you, maybe could be other all kinds of feelings we can go into. We can go through the feeling wheel that I often do with my clients of in our membership is, feelings like horniness or anxiety or loneliness or neediness or insecurity or confidence or gratitude. There's so many feelings that you can have going on inside of your heart and your body. Just the fact of you tapping into your body and your heart, what do you actually feel right now? That itself is half the battle, because you're now listening to your feminine core, and now you can share that with a man. Vulnerability is actually sharing in the right way that we teach, using magnetic feminine communication, so that you're not whacking a man on the head with your feelings, but actually telling them in a way which is received well by him, which is, there are very slight distinctions on how to do this, which is why it can be so valuable to have coaching with this. And like in our magnetic feminine coaching programs, and memberships, like how this can really help you make that little distinction that makes all the difference, that brings him closer to you rather than pushing him away. So are you comfortable with sharing those feelings and drawing him closer to you by feeling your heart and knowing what's going on in your heart and connecting to your heart so that he can feel his own heart? He can feel his own feelings through you. It's very powerful. So that's the vulnerability key to femininity and to attracting a man. And then the bonus question I have for you tonight before we get into Q&A is, do you view vulnerability as a weakness or a strength? So that's one of the big keys that'll help you to actually know how comfortable you are being vulnerable and how much on this trajectory you are to being in your magnetic feminine. Are you still viewing vulnerability as a weakness, or are you viewing femininity and vulnerability? Really, they are the same thing. That's why I'm mixing them up here. Femininity and vulnerability as a strength is actually your greatest asset, the thing that actually causes you to be the most protected, the most happy, the most have the most options, the most resources, the most available things to you, including love, devotion, care, attraction, comes through that vulnerability of being in your femininity, which attracts a masculine, committed man who wants to give you all the things, all the desires of your heart. And the people around you included will be more likely to want to do things for you, to want to help you, to be connected to you, to value you when they can feel your vulnerable feminine heart and you're comfortable with sharing it in the right way that we will teach you, so that you can actually draw people to you and have them want to help, rather than feeling like for example, if you were just complaining all the time, or if you were telling them what to do and saying, you need to help me with this, you got to get this, I need this, stop this, go do this, quit talking to me like that, quit being like this. That would be the masculine communication, and that would actually be pushing people away, even though it may feel like it's vulnerable, but it's actually not vulnerable, because true vulnerability is not trying to get an outcome. It's not trying to get somebody to do anything. It's simply sharing. This is me. This is who I am. This is how I feel. And then whatever happens, happens. But they feel it, and they can see that you're not trying to get them to do anything. You're not trying to control them. You're not trying to manipulate them. And now they want to help. So write in the comments below and in the chat, do you view vulnerability as a weakness or as a strength? And if you view it as a strength, go ahead and claim it. I see vulnerability now as a strength and as my greatest asset. So use those affirmations as well. Vulnerability is powerful. Vulnerability is what makes you magnetic and draws to you everything that you desire in your life. Very powerful. So now, if you haven't yet, if you heard me talking about our coaching memberships, different tools that we have to teach you more advanced principles of magnetic feminine communication, magnetic feminine polarity, to really attract a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man you desire, make sure to go to take our free feminine polarity quiz by going to befeminine.com. Simply that, befeminine.com. You can go there, or you can click on the link in the chat or in the description below, or the comments, or in our bio, depending on where you're watching this. You can get that. You can wait till after the Q&A if you want, or you can go take it now, but highly recommend taking that quiz, because that's going to help you master all these principles we're talking about, so it all clicks together for you and you're fully in your radiance, your magnetic power, really, to draw men to you, to draw everything you desire to you, and communicate in a way that gets you everything that you want. So go take that quiz if you haven't yet. Highly recommend. It's going to help you so much in your dating life to get a man that you want, a man that you're probably interested in right now, who may be pulling away. Have him come to you and actually devote to you and claim you and commit to you in a deep way that you've never experienced before, and would honestly probably be shocked by once he actually does it. So hope that was helpful. Now I'm going to do a Q&A section. So if you have any comments or questions based on what I shared today, I'm going to be off answering some questions probably for the next 30 minutes or so. We'll see. Go ahead and post your questions in the chat right now about a man, about a challenge you're having, about a goal that you have, something you're dealing with a man in dating in general, or in life in general. I'm happy to answer that, especially anything we covered in this video about femininity, receiving, masculinity, polarity, communication, all those things I can help you with here. So I'm going to go ahead and start answering some questions as they come in. Pamela said, thank you. You're welcome. Glad this was helpful. Jennifer said, it depends on how well I know them. So I'm imagining you're talking about receiving compliments, gifts, provision from a man. Yeah, it depends. Of course, you want to receive the most with a man you know well and that you're attracted to, but it's really important to practice receiving. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about here. If not, post your question again. Receiving from men in general, and men that are just in your daily life. Like I was talking about our client who asked this man to take out her groceries for her, and he was like really happy to do that for her and enjoyed it. She could tell he enjoyed it himself. And there's different ways you can do this just in your daily life, of like asking men for help, asking men for advice, allowing them to do things for you, open the doors, pull out the chairs, grab your coat, protect you from things, whatever it might be. It depends on, the level of intimacy, but you can have most people in your life, and you could practice it also with women. You could practice it with people around you, people in your family, your friends, your co-workers. You can practice magnetic feminine communication that will teach you, and you can practice magnetic feminine polarity so that they are inspired to want to help you, to want to give things to you, to want to just to connect with you more, connect with your heart more. And so that way you have practice. So then when you meet a man you're actually interested in, or when you're with your man, it's going to come naturally to you because you've been practicing your feminine energy and it just flows. And now he's just giving, 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 and he just loves it. And he loves being with you because you practice being this feminine woman in your whole life. It's who you are. Because really what I'm teaching you here is your most authentic self. This is the no games approach. It's being your most authentic, vulnerable self in the right way, tapping into your feminine core, which all women have. It may have been masked by some things that happened in your early childhood, early romantic experiences, but you have a magnetic feminine core. And we're helping you to tap into that and to bring it out and to shine your light so that you're being your most authentic feminine self. And it's who you are. It becomes a being. Because remember, the feminine is being, the masculine is doing. So the feminine really just has to be, and to be sharing, to be vulnerable, to be receiving. So you can just be, and that's enough in itself, enough to attract a man's devotion and attract a man to you. So I hope that was helpful. Some thoughts on that. Laura said, "You're amazing. Thank you for what you do for us all." You're welcome, Laura. Glad it's helping you. Karina said, "Thank you so much for that. Makes a lot of sense. God bless. I always appreciate anything anyone does for me." Great. It's about receptivity. It's really just, have you blocked any of this in the past? So I'm helping you to get a lens to see where anyone here listening, if you've experienced any of this, that you've blocked compliments, you've blocked people giving things to you, and it's kind of unnecessary. Because why? If it's a person that you feel some danger from, or you feel they're creepy, or you just don't like them, you don't have to receive from them. But if it's other people in your daily life, like practicing receiving with even just a smile, eye contact, and letting them give to you in that way, and just practicing like you're this feminine receptivity. You receive and you respond. You receive and you respond. That's where you get into the feminine flow, and a man feels activated. His masculine core feels activated and wants to give more and more and more. Heather said, "I have a hard time opening up." Yeah, that's good to be aware of. So if you have a hard time opening up, first off, no, it's totally normal. So many women, and there's a lot of men as well, men is a different story. So it's a different conversation. But you may have a hard time opening up. Looking at why is that? What are the things that cause you to have a hard time opening up? It's likely, if we explore back into your past, your childhood, traumas that might have happened, bad relationships that might have happened, where you feel afraid of being rejected in some way or hurt in some way. So the fear of sharing your authentic self, sharing your authentic heart, may feel scary, because it's like, oh, if I feel my authentic heart and then they don't love that, then I'm really rejected, or then I really feels hurtful because now they've rejected my core. And it's like, first off, the feminine is about being, right? So the feminine is detached from the outcome. The feminine is enjoying the process and enjoying the journey. So even the idea of rejection itself, or getting hurt itself, that's sort of an outcome that you're thinking about. It's an outcome that you may be attached to, either because you can be attached to outcomes, good or bad. You can be attached to an outcome that you want somebody to really like you, or you want them to ask you out, or you want them to commit to you or love you. And you could also be attached to the outcome of like, I'm attached to the idea of being rejected. I'm attached to the idea of, what if I get hurt again? Or I'm attached to the idea of, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if they don't like me, or they don't love me, or they lead me on, or they waste my time, or they don't respect me? So you can be attached to outcomes either way. Part of the feminine practice is detaching from the outcomes, of sharing. It's for you. It's your gift to yourself to share vulnerably and being your feminine, to live as a feminine woman, where life is easier, where you can relax more, where you're not as attached to the outcome. You become more of a secure attachment style because you're more in the moment. You're being, not doing. So sharing can be scary, and opening up can be scary. Remember that you're doing it more for yourself, detaching from the outcome. You commit to the process of opening up, being your most feminine self. You detach from the outcome and let the cards fall where they may. And you can continue to be who you are and see what happens. And sometimes some people might not like it. Some people will really love it. Most likely they will really love it. Most people will really love it when you do it in the right way that we teach with magnetic feminine communication, not doing it to get an outcome. Because oftentimes what some people will do is they will open up their hearts, but they're trying to get something. They're trying to get him to like me. They're trying to get him to love me. They're trying to get him to stop being this way. They're trying to get him to change. But you being feminine isn't trying to get anything from him. It's you doing it for yourself. It's being. Because getting an outcome and getting a goal, an accomplishment, that's masculine. So anytime you're trying to get something from a man using manipulation, control, leadership, masculine energy, that's you and your masculine. So you're simply being in your feminine is about detaching from the outcome, being in the process, being in the journey, enjoying the journey, relaxing into the journey, and sharing vulnerably. And whatever happens, happens. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your own healing. That'll help you. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to probably have to have some courage. You're going to have some courage to be willing to open up your heart again, because the consequence of not opening up your heart again means there's zero chance of love coming in. There's zero chance of a relationship you want really deepening and going the direction that you want. There's zero chance of a man being able to feel love, attraction, and devotion for you and to be your protector, provider, hero. So isn't it better to at least have a chance, even if you feel it's a small chance, to have at least a chance of attracting a man's devotion and having a hero in your life and having everything that your heart desires in terms of a relationship, versus having 100% certainty that you will have misery. Basically, you will be miserable of not having what you desire. Of course, if you don't have any desires, I would question that, but likely your heart does have a desire somewhere deep inside for relationship, for love, for a committed container where you can have a life partner and enjoy things together and accomplish things together. But yeah, so at the best case, you may just have a neutral life where it's just closed and it's just, there's not really any of that juice available. You may not get hurt again, but you also may not get happy again. So you have to question what is is it worth the risk? Is it worth at least attempting? And of course, we're going to help you with this and especially with our magnetic feminine coaching and taking the quiz, we can help you to do it in the right way, to follow your feminine in the right way, so that you won't have to be afraid of getting hurt again. You won't have to be as afraid of getting rejected, because it's going to become very unlikely that would happen. And you'll still want to have some courage at the end of the day, because it's going to be much more enjoyable for you to live a life of courage, knowing you played full out, especially when you're on your deathbed, looking back, rather than looking back on your life and saying, I kind of settled. I kind of just accepted my life and I kind of played it safe, and I didn't really open up, and I didn't really give it a try, and I didn't really do my best. I didn't really get support, and I just kind of settled, and I had a bland life of, living just with my cats or just with myself or just having some average kind of experiences, but not really the bliss and excitement and passion and joy and deep love that I really wanted. So it's just something you have to kind of weigh those things for yourself, and that'll help it become easier to practice this. And of course, we're going to help you do it, and it will ultimately also likely be just a practice for you. Again, if you have any other questions, please post them in the comments or chat right now around a guy that you're dating, you're interested in, your relationship. Maybe there's an issue. Maybe there's something that you want that you're not getting. Post it in the chat. I'll see how many I can get to tonight. And again, if you haven't taken our feminine polarity quiz as well, go to BeFeminine.com to help you with all this, to help you really master magnetic feminine polarity and magnetic feminine communication. BeFeminine.com, or you can click the link in the description or comments below or in the chat or in our bio, depending on where you're watching this. So hope that helps as well. Let's get the next question on here. Aaron said, I have been doing it all wrong. I was always told to show that I am smarter and more capable to do things for myself. Ooh, yeah, that's a big one and very common. So don't beat yourself up around this. A lot of these are very common because unfortunately we're taught a lot of these things in our modern society. The way to succeed is you got to be this strong, empowered woman. I don't need no man. I could do it myself. I pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'm going to make all the money myself. I'm going to just be the strong one. I'm going to be in control. I'm girl boss, So these are a lot of things. And then men on the other side are being taught, masculinity is toxic. You need to just calm down. You need to just go play video games and watch porn and don't get involved in anything. Don't go into business. Don't go date women. They're just going to cheat on you. And so men are also getting these messages, by the way. So that can help you to have some empathy, hopefully, for men, that they're being taught that their masculinity is also bad, while you've likely been taught in some ways that your femininity is bad. The most core things about you, your feminine is the most core thing about you as a woman. And to be thinking that that's a bad thing is tragedy. And for men, their masculine core being the most core thing about them, and it's being told to them that it's bad, it's a tragedy, because they can never have a healthy polarized relationship. The best that they can hope for, men or women who buy into these lies, is friends with benefits situation, or just roommate situations, or toxic relationships, or unpolarized or reverse polarized relationships where neither person is happy. The man is submissive, the woman is dominant. She's telling him what to do. She doesn't feel safe. She doesn't feel protected, provided for. He doesn't feel like he has a purpose or a meaning. He feels like he's constantly being controlled and told what to do. And they're both ultimately unhappy and miserable. And that was why we have also such a high divorce rate. So don't buy into the BS around this. Instead, tap into your core. Who are you at your core as a woman? The person you were, the woman you were, the girl you were before any tragedies, any traumas, bad things happened, bad messaging happened, came in from society, from your parents, from school, from movies, from culture. Like all of that goes back down to the core of who you actually are at your feminine. So if you've been doing it all wrong, don't blame yourself and realize it's not your fault in a lot of ways. These are things that we were unfortunately taught the bad ways, and we weren't taught the good ways because, you know, there may be evil forces. There's evil in the world. If you're a Christian, if you study the Bible, you know that the world is Satan. The world is of Satan. Satan controls the world, and he's not always wanting the best for everyone. However, there is higher power. There's something beautiful that exists that is unfathomable that we don't know about, which is God. As you know, a Christian would believe in that there can be good in the world, and you can connect to that, and you can actually create healing for yourself, for others, doing it through starting with forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, and forgiving men, forgiving a man. Practicing that forgiveness will help you to get back to your core. That's what I'm trying to lead you back to, is back to your core. To not blame yourself, to realize it's not your fault, back to your core, and that you can start receiving, and that you don't have to be smarter than a man. You don't have to be more capable than a man. You don't have to show these things to him. What he wants to feel is your heart. What he wants to feel is your raw, feminine, vulnerable core that he can connect with, and that he can be a hero, protector, and provider for, that he has meaning and purpose in his life. He feels needed, and he feels that he can win the game of life and relationship with you, and that you're going to be able to relax and enjoy and receive and share those beautiful moments and connections with him, just like in a dance, or just like with sex. Like you have that polarity, you have that masculine, feminine energy, that masculine, feminine dance, which is a healthy polarized relationship. So glad you have those awarenesses, Aaron, and it's beautiful. And I'm excited to hear how your journey progresses with that. Dolores said, good speaking. I love the way you think about relationships. Real talk. Thanks, Dolores. Yeah, I try to give it to you real. I try to give it to you straight. I don't try to sugarcoat these things, because if I sugarcoat it too much, you're not going to get the message, and it's not going to be able to really help, because there's so much dating advice out there, and so many books and speakers and videos where they're really just kind of telling you what you want to hear in a lot of ways. And also they make it very bland and very vanilla. Like I was reading a book that just recently came out by a pretty famous dating coach. And it's just like, this is bland. This isn't, if I was a woman, I'd be like, this isn't helpful. This is so generic and like platitudes. Like, you need to just make sure you're increasing your confidence as a woman. You have to just keep believing in yourself and building your self-esteem and moving forward. And I'm like, this is so generic. How do you actually apply that? So I want to give you things you can apply. Mindset, there'll be mindset things I can give you, but they're specific. Like all these questions I gave you today, they're very specific questions. And then what we teach in our magnetic feminine polarity courses and in our coaching is very practical. It's how do you actually speak to a man that is in your feminine? Because there's masculine communication and there's feminine communication, and they're very different. And when you can communicate in your feminine, it is helping you to embrace your feminine energy, which ultimately what's attracting a man is your feminine energy. But there's certain things you can do, specific things you can say and do that actually make you connect to your feminine energy. And a man can feel your feminine core, and he can readily access it, just like with feminine vulnerability, that he feels connected to you and he wants to be with you. He desires that. He desires a relationship with you. So that's what I want to give you, is real stuff, real things that'll help you, that'll actually help you, and specific things that you can actually apply, rather than just vague platitudes, vague concepts that may make you feel better in the moment, but aren't actually going to help you move forward and aren't actually going to help you have a happy relationship, because they're based on, I don't know, being too politically correct or being too bland, being too vague. And it's just not really helping, because the real life isn't always nice. Sometimes it's dirty, it's real, it's raw, and there's real emotions and there's real things we have to deal with, real challenges that have to be dealt with. Otherwise, nothing's going to really get fixed. And yeah, we may feel better for a little bit, but long term, you're not going to have a great relationship. You're not going to have a great life. So I really want to help continually get to the core of what's going to actually help you. So I'm glad that you're seeing that, Dolores, and glad it's helping. Mercedes said, "Hi, I love your videos. Thanks. I would like to know how to deal with fears that's when start opening." Okay, I already talked a lot about that, Mercedes. So I'm sure you probably heard some of that when I was responding to Heather. So you can go back if you want to listen to that. But again, it's going to take courage. It's going to take some mindset shifts around femininity and around being committed to the outcome, or being committed to the process rather than committed to the outcome, and practice. And so we can actually practice. So like one thing that we do in our magnetic feminine coaching group is I will actually practice these things with a woman, on our Zoom calls. We can actually practice masculine feminine communication, where you can share your feelings, you can share your problems, you practice using respectful language, and sharing stories that you're telling yourself, sharing appreciation, so that you actually get to practice it, so that it becomes easier and like a second nature when you're with a man. Because imagine if I was to say to you, you have 2 weeks to learn how to speak Japanese. If you had 2 weeks to learn how to speak Japanese, you would probably be like, "Oh, this is really scary. I don't know what to do. I'm going to try." And you're going to probably feel really like a failure in the process, because it's such a small length of time to actually master this. But that's, in a lot of ways, that's what it's like to actually learn feminine communication, magnetic feminine communication. In a lot of ways, it's like learning a new language. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take little distinctions, getting the words right, getting the sentence structures right, getting the feelings right, getting yourself like feeling like it's natural to you, because it is natural. It's your most authentic self. Because really what we're practicing is actually taking away the masks, taking away the layers of trust issues, hurts, insecurities, things that have happened in your past, to where you can just get to the core. Where's your raw emotion? Where's your raw, feminine, vulnerable core center that we can start to share and communicate with a man in the right way, so that he doesn't feel like you're trying to control him, you're trying to lead him, but actually he just feels your vulnerability and he comes closer to you rather than being pushed away. So that would be the process, Mercedes. So hope that was helpful. Jennifer said, "Thank you. You're welcome." Dolores has another question. "When a man buys you things and says, 'You're friends for life, you will never get rid of me.'" So what to do in that situation? It depends on how you feel about that. I mean, if it's a man you like, I'm sure that's a great thing that you like, but maybe this man you don't really like, so you're not sure if you should accept that or not. So if a man says, "You're friends for life and will never get rid of me," yeah, I'd say that's a good thing. What I would do is, either way, I would share your feelings with him about that. So you would say something like, "May I share something with you? May I share a feeling I have about that with you?" And he'd say, "Sure." And say, "I feel whatever you feel." Try to tap into your body. What do you actually feel? So much of this practice is listening to your body, listening to your heart, tapping into it, putting a label on it as best you can, which is where the feelings wheel comes in. That is helpful, that we have in our courses. And the quiz, if you haven't taken the quiz, that'll start helping with this as well, the feminine polarity quiz. And then share that with him. "I feel anxiety. I feel sad. I feel great. I feel grateful. I feel so happy when you said that." And then he'll say, like, "Why do you feel that?" So if you said like a bad emotion, like quote unquote bad emotions, like sad, "I feel sad," or "I feel anxious." Let's say that. So you say, "I feel anxious," when you said that, and he'll say, "Why do you feel anxious?" And you say, "Because I feel like when you said we're friends for life, I told myself a story that you just see me as a friend and not as a romantic partner. And that feeling made me feel anxious and I don't know what to do. May I have some help with that?" And he can then say whatever he's going to say. You're detached from the outcome. And he'll say, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean for you to think I just want to be friends. I meant like, I really like you. I really want to be with you for a long time. Like, I want you to be my wife." Who knows what he's going to say. So that's the process of sharing your true, authentic emotions and the stories you're feeling, your stories you're telling yourself. This is magnetic feminine communication that we teach some of the basics of it. And then he can start to connect to you and he'll start to say, "Oh, wow, I didn't mean for you to think that," or, "Oh, that's interesting," or he'll just feel your heart more. Either way, it's going to be a good win for you, because he feels your heart. He feels like either he feels great or he feels like he wants to fix it. He gets to fix the problem. He gets to be in his masculine. He gets to correct the misunderstanding. And now you guys can go back to having a great connection. So I don't know what your concern would be if he said, "You'll never get rid of me." You're not that interested in him. You could say, "I'm feeling a little, uncertainty," or "I'm feeling anxiety." because, I don't know, we're just still getting to know each other, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, and I don't know what to do, and then let him respond to it. So hope that was helpful, Dolores. Aaron said, even though I know how to do things for myself, I guess you were saying to allow the man to do it for me. Yes, exactly. And it's more so for you to have the gift of that, to have the gift of having a man be your protector, provider, hero, to be received by you in that way. Because yes, of course, you can do so many things for yourself. You're probably a very capable woman. You've been taught a lot of great skills, and you have a lot of competence in different areas. You could do a lot of things yourself. And so one of our friends, she used to say something beautiful. She's like, I know I can do it myself, but I like it when you do it for me. So it's a very powerful phrase. That's like a very feminine phrase to use. I know I can do it myself, but I love it when you do it for me. All right. I think it's so hot when you do it for me. Or I so love when you do it for me. I so like when you do it for me. Or so attracted to you when you do it for me. That's a great phrase. And that's how you can approach your whole relationship with men and with men in general. It's just like, yes, I know I can do it myself. And I like it when you do it for me. And let him feel that, and let him feel like, oh, his heart will just probably melt in that moment, because he feels like this is a woman who desires to have me in her life. This is a woman who likes what I have to offer. This is a woman who I can help. This is a woman who I could provide for. This is a woman who I could be a hero for. And that feels good to me, because I want to be a hero. I want to be needed. I want to have meaning in my life. I want to be able to make a woman happy. And especially if he's a more masculine man, that's going to be more true for him. So allowing him to do those things, exactly, that's the gift. That's really your gift. Your only gift you have to give to a man is allowing him to give to you, and being received by you, and having it appreciated. And doesn't mean you can't do anything yourself. It just means when you have those opportunities, like that, he can provide help, whether that's opening a pickle jar, opening the door for you, helping you with your car, helping with your computer, helping you with taxes. Like, ask him for some help, whatever. Also, know your guy, know what his skills are, know what he's good at, and then make a mental note. Say, okay, he's really good at fixing cars. I saw him fixing his own car. He told me about it. So when I have a car issue next, I'm going to mention it to him and ask him if he has any advice or if he could help. And then he worst case is he says, no, I don't know how to fix that. Or he says, like, I don't want to help you, which is going to be very unlikely, unless he doesn't like you, which is probably not true. He probably has some degree of care and liking for you if you guys have been connected. He's probably going to find a resource for you. If he doesn't have the answer, he's going to probably ask one of his buddies. He's going to find out for you, because he's going to want to help you. And then he's going to still feel great about get you to the right direction, get you the resources that you need. And he's going to start feeling more and more like, this is my woman. This is my woman. I can give to her. I can win with her. I feel needed by her. I want to do more. I want to do more. What else can I do? What else do you need help with, babe? How else can I help serve you? How else can I be your hero? You say, oh, my hero. Thank you so much. You saved me. Oh, you saved me, my hero. And he's going to feel like, yes, I'm the man. I did this. I am this hero. I'm the knight in shining armor. And I love that. I love to be the hero. So every man has this within himself. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be Superman. He wants to be James Bond, saving the world. That's why men love these movies. That's why men love these stories, is because it connects to their masculine core, where there's something primal inside of a man, where he wants to save the world, right? He wants to save his people. He wants to save his family. He wants to save his woman. He wants to save the damsel in distress. That's primal wiring inside of a man. You're activating whenever you do this. So we're using real things that are real wires and real triggers inside of a man, rather than just, oh, you just got to be, talking to a man about how great your day was, and stay positive, and don't tell him anything is wrong, because you're a capable woman. You want to show him that you're strong and that you're smart as he is, and you got your own life going on, and you could do it yourself. And then he's just feeling like, she doesn't need me. She doesn't need me. I don't have a purpose here. I got to move on. I got to jump back on my horse and go to another town where I can find the damsel. All right. Hopefully that was helpful, Aaron. Heather said, yes, I want a devoted, loving partner. Awesome, Heather. Well, that's a beautiful desire, and it's powerful to own your desires. David Data, who's a great author, I've studied for many years also, he talks about the feminine yearning. The yearning, please. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero to the end of the night. Like that's that longing, the feminine longing, right? That a man feels like she needs a hero. I want to be that hero. So when you share that, when you own that for yourself, like I desire to have a loving, devoted partner. I desire to have a hero in my life. Own that, feel that, because that's beautiful. That's what a man can feel when he's with you. She feels she needs me. This is a woman who needs me. She needs a hero. I can be her hero. I want to be her hero. So it's very powerful. Then let's see what other questions we have here. And we're going to wrap it up pretty soon. Maggie said, should a woman forgive a man if he cheats on her? Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. Of course, the obvious answer is no. Once a cheater, always a cheater is that common saying. It's really up to you if you're willing to give a man a chance. Now, the thing is, he will have to make his case. He will have to prove to you that he's going to change in some way. So it could involve trial separation. It could involve some kind of like a temporary breakup or just really deep conversations. If he's very apologetic to, if he actually confessed it to you, or if he's very apologetic and he's changing his life around to make amends. He has to do it with real actions, though, because again, if he cheated on you, he probably wasn't seeing you as his queen. He wasn't seeing you as someone as his heroine, I guess you would say, the damsel in distress, the woman he can protect, that he needs to protect and provide, his queen, his princess, his babe, his honey honey bunch, obviously like pet names. So if he didn't see you as that, then he wasn't really devoted, and that's sad. And that could mean the polarity was reversed. We don't know why it happened. I would have to go deeper into it with you, which could be very valuable actually. If you want to do more coaching with this, I would highly recommend taking our free feminine polarity quiz and joining one of our coaching memberships as well. That can be very affordable, to where I can coach you directly on how to navigate this situation, because it's a very deep situation. I would need to know what actually happened, what he's doing now, how he's changed his behaviors, what conversations you've had, why this whole thing might have happened. If you also cheated, whatever might this be the situation, who knows? And then from there, we can make a determination. Now, there is an option, something very special we teach, which is called the Magnetic Feminine 90-Day Challenge. Now, this is something we teach in our coaching programs, but basically the idea is for 90 days. Now, depending on how long you've been together, it could be shorter, but for 90 days, you're going to put a container in it where you actually put a date in your calendar for 90 days from today, where you're going to use everything that we're going to teach you with magnetic feminine polarity, magnetic feminine communication, getting all the advanced principles, all the shifts that you need, helping me coach you, and actually asking your questions, helping me coach you, and also role playing, practicing some of these conversations with him and some of these things we'll teach you. And then if that 90 days, if he hasn't shifted, if things haven't dramatically shifted in your relationship, where now he's a completely different man, he's fully devoted to you, he's fully your king, he's your hero, protector, provider, then you'll have a great relationship at that point. Or it'll become very apparent that he's not capable of that for whatever reason. Maybe he's a damaged man. He's mentally, emotionally damaged in some way. Maybe he's a narcissist. Maybe he's a sociopath. Maybe he's a chronic liar, whatever it might be, an addict of some kind. Maybe he's an addict. That'll become very apparent. And then at that point, you're going to also need to set boundaries with yourself and be willing to move on and let it go and fully walk away and cut the ties. But you may want to potentially, given the situation, look into what I said and take our free quiz to see if you might want to do the Magnetic Feminine 90-Day Challenge with him and see if this relationship can actually work out or not. So hope that was helpful, Maggie. Goldie said, oh, yeah. All right, Goldie, glad it was helpful. Aaron said, thank you for sharing your wisdom. You're welcome, Aaron. Glad that was helpful. And also great practicing sharing appreciation, by the way, because in these live streams that we do, you can actually practice a lot of these feminine communication principles of sharing appreciation, asking permission, using respectful language, sharing your feelings, sharing your problems, sharing the stories you're telling yourself. And then I can help you with those. And I can actually step into that masculine role to practice what that will be like that you use with your man, so that this comes out naturally for you. I'm just going to answer a couple last minute questions here. How should you dress at home when you live with a man? I'm going to do a lightning round. How should you dress at home when you live with a man? Is it okay to be comfortable or sexy? Mix it up. I would say do both. A man will love it when you're wearing your hair down and being comfortable and relaxed. And he'll also love it if sometimes he comes home and you're wearing a French maid outfit. So, or a cheerleader outfit, or just something a little bit more revealing or tight fitting or sexy. So I would say mix it up, because then you could really be the ice cream that he gets to come home and enjoy as his dessert after a long day of work. Mandy said, what is demasculating to you? So emasculation, really the essence of emasculation is attacking a man's masculine core. So like you have a feminine core, which is your vulnerable feminine heart. And a man has his masculine core as well, which is his masculine center, his masculine core, his sense of masculine self-confidence and self-worth and his hero instinct, basically. And so for you to emasculate him would be basically attacking him on the deepest level you can attack a man, which would be saying things like, you're not man enough for me, you're weak, you're a loser, you're stupid, you're incompetent. I feel so unsafe when I'm with you. You scare, you're a horrible lover. You're ugly. You're like things like that. I don't know if ugly would be such a big one, but basically attacking him as a man, like as his masculine. That's the most emasculating thing you could do to a man, the most damaging and hurtful. That'll very likely end the relationship pretty quickly, unless he's a very feminine man who just loves abuse. So yeah, anytime you're or comparing him to other men, that's a big one. Like, Sarah's boyfriend is always treating her so well, and I feel like with you, I'm just always getting the scraps, or getting like I'm like with a loser. So that's going to be like very damaging to a man's masculine self-esteem. So yeah, anytime you're attacking his masculine core, like that, he's the opposite of a hero, basically, that he's an opposite of a protector, he's an opposite of a provider, so that he's like, like those things I said, basically, he's incompetent, he's a loser, he's stupid, he's, he's not a man, he's weak, he's a wussy, he's a simp. There's so many different words, but that's how you would really emasculate. That's what the essence of emasculation is. Another rapid fire question. I've been talking with an amazing Christian man. We are in a different state because of our kids. I've been calling it a friend relationship. Oh, that's a new one. I like that. Our connection is strong, but communication has minimized. Unsure why. Well, obviously, the obvious one is long distance, because of course that's a big challenge anytime you're distance, and if there's kids involved. So that could be a big reason. And also, ultimately, you don't know. The most you can do is share your feelings with him about that vulnerably, using magnetic feminine communication. I would recommend getting some coaching around that before you send him any messages, but like with our feminine polarity quiz and our coaching membership as well. But magnetic feminine, which is very affordable, by the way. So basically, sharing your feelings about how you feel, what you told me here. I'm telling myself a story that I feel our connection is strong and communication is minimized. And I'm telling myself a story that, we're just friends, and maybe you don't really see this as a real relationship, or that you're not wanting to connect on a deeper level or make this a priority. And that thought made me feel sad, and I don't know what to do. And of course, you would share this after asking permission and saying, may I share something with you? Or may I share a feeling I'm having with you? Or may I ask for a phone call, talking to him on the phone, ideally, and having these deeper conversations to really get clear on how you feel, letting him feel your heart, feel your emotions. And that can, if anything, will compel him to want to step up, to want to be more active in his communication and help you, rather than making the relationship like a option rather than a priority. Christina said, did you already mention the list? Yeah, that's at the beginning of the video. You can watch that again if you need to. Maggie said, thank you. And Nydia said, first time watching. That's awesome that you're willing to do this for your viewers. Yep, you're welcome. And practicing the feminine communication as well. And then the last question for tonight is, I've noticed a lot of men have self-esteem issues from comments like those. It really bugs me. There is no reason to attack someone. Yes. Well, men have definitely self-esteem issues, and I don't know which comments you're referring to exactly. Maybe the emasculation comments, but there is no real reason to attack somebody in a relationship, because as soon as you're attacking, it's for one, it's more masculine communication, but then also it's not going to draw a man closer, because it's not feminine, it's not vulnerable. It's basically trying to control him, really. An attack and a punishment is trying to lead a man. It's trying to control him. It's trying to manipulate him to do what you want, just like you would punish a dog. If a dog is barking, you would, hopefully not, but some people would hit the dog, or they would yell at the dog, and they're trying to train the dog to stop barking. But usually the dog is just then going to become a low self-esteem dog that doesn't want to do anything. Is just very unconfident, and because it's been beat, or it's been yelled at, beat down, and now it's like a puppy. Now it's not a man that you want to be with. And at the very worst, he's going to leave, because usually when you're using masculine communication with a man, he's only going to react in 3 ways. He's either going to fight you and argue back and attack you back, or he's going to submit to your leadership, and he submit to it and say, okay, yes, dear, whatever you want, dear. Yes, I'll do it. Okay. And it's not going to feel good to him at some level, even if he's a more feminine man, because all men have a masculine core. It's going to feel bad, and he's not going to like that at some level. He's going to feel like he's not fulfilled in the relationship. And number 3 is he'll just pull away, and he'll just say this relationship isn't working for me, and he'll get distance, or he'll leave the relationship. So those are really the only 3 options you leave a man when you are in your masculine and trying to control him and attacking him, or using masculine communication, which neither of those options are things you probably want or will lead anywhere good for the relationship. The only way to get him to change, and to get him to want to step up, and to get him to come closer to you and fix the problem, is through what we're teaching you here: magnetic feminine polarity and magnetic feminine communication. Being able to vulnerably interact with a man in the right way that draws him to you, and helps him to feel your heart and feel your feminine core, and want to continue to deepen the relationship, and want to help you, and want to fix the issue, and want to change himself for the better, which will help you ultimately have a loving, long-term, committed relationship. So if that's what you want with a man that you're interested in, or if you want a man in your life to do that for you and to be devoted to you in that way, again, highly recommend taking our magnetic feminine polarity quiz. If you haven't already, highly recommend it. You can get it by going to befeminine.com. I made it very easy. Remember, befeminine.com, or you can click on the link in the description or comments below this video, or in the chat, or in our bio, depending on where you're watching this, to get that link as well to take that quiz. Highly recommend it. And then depending on what you learn from the quiz, what you want to do after that, we also have our magnetic feminine coaching programs available. We can help you on a deeper level to practice these things, to master these things, to get this handled in your life once and for all. Have the relationship you want without more suffering, struggling, uncertainty, anxiety with a man that's driving you nuts, and wondering if he's going to continue to pull away, and that it may even be too late. So we want to help you reverse that it's not too late, that this can all be fixed with the right strategies, the right polarity, to get a healthy polarized relationship. It can all be turned around. So again, befeminine.com. To get that. Much love. Hope this was helpful tonight. Glad I got to answer quite a bit of questions. Great questions tonight. And I will talk to you again on our future trainings, potentially. Take care.